So there's several VR compatible flight simulator games out there. We've talked about a lot of them here on the show, but most of them are not made for the ground up for VR. Most of them are ports of PC games that you're able to play in VR. However, we have a brand new game that is built from the ground up for VR, VTOL VR. This went early access in 2017, and the 1.0 full release has just been cleared for launch. Because it's been made from the ground up for VR, everything in your plane while you're flying it around, you interact with using your VR controllers in game. So your flight stick, you grab it in game, you twist around, you press any buttons or adjust the throttle, you move your VR controller. Wow, I am stumbling over my words a little bit here. You move your controller in game and adjust the throttle or push that button. Built for the ground up from VR, and the entire cockpit interface and dashboard designed for VR in mind. And personally, I'm really excited to see a flight sim like this get a full release.
Yeah, this game is so like I know some people in the flight sim community that whenever I say VTOL VR to them, they're like, "Oh, that game," because VTOL VR isn't a true sim in some ways. It doesn't have the full controls that a true whatever ship they're trying or plane ship, whatever plane they're trying to copy. So if you're like a hardcore sim, this isn't a hardcore sim. That said, if you like VR and if you like flight in general, this is a really great. It's not arcadey. It's not that bad.
No.
It's got a ton of control. I mean, I would hop into it and have no idea what I'm doing, just with the amount of like stuff in your cockpit. Yeah, this is an intense game. I've been meaning to pick this up for a while. I'm excited to talk about it on the podcast now that it has been. Is it released or is it just cleared for release?
It's cleared for release. I don't believe that it has had a full release quite yet.
Okay, so we're expecting it to come.
Right. The exciting thing about this game, though, that I think really sets it apart, and forgive me, I'm going to be using a little bit of game dev lingo here. There's this idea of diegetic controls, and diegetic means it exists in the game itself. So, like the
Right.
other flight sims that we've talked about, like Elite Dangerous or War Thunder, or any of these other games, you're using physical flight sticks to move it around. You're pressing buttons on your keyboard. But that's not how it is in VTOL. You actually reach out in game using your controllers and adjust it in the game itself. And that's what really I think could appeal to a lot of people. They don't need to shell out another $150, $200 on a flight stick to play this
Right.
game, and to really play this game, you just need whatever comes in your VR box. And I think that is one of the coolest features about this game.
Right. Super approachable. And because it's not as ridiculously complex as like DCS,
Right.
it's people can play this. They can enjoy the experience of flying. I don't it's probably not this plane, but an F-16, just because that's a popular. I think most people know what an F-16 is. It'd be like flying an F-16 in VR and you're getting to touch all the controls and it's really fancy and cool.
Yeah, and I believe it's a Harrier. I think a
That's right,
Harrier is
yeah.
the one you fly. Yeah.
I said F-16 because I couldn't remember any proper name. I know what a VTOL is, but I don't know any like like proper name. I couldn't remember the term Harrier or anything.
Has
Yeah,
anyone
super
here
cool.
played Ultra Wings in VR?
No.
So that's like a really dumbed down version, but it's a flight game. I'm not even gonna call it a sim, but same thing. You have to reach over and flip your fuel switch on and turn your I can't remember what the switch is called, and then you have to start it up and stuff. And like playing that, and even playing like No Man's Sky, where you use like your controller to move the joystick, has me nervous about this game. I definitely want to hear about it or play it myself and see, but like especially for like us on Inside Out tracking when you're holding that joystick down, but if you were tracking a target up above you or looking up for some reason, it may not still be tracking it super well. So I'm interested in how the flight stick's going to work there because there definitely was some weirdness in Ultra Wings at times. But luckily, Ultra Wings, it's all cartoony. It's not that demanding of a game. I'm wondering for this being a combat fight simulator, like that means you're going to be looking at targets and trying to turn to shoot them. I feel like the intensity of the battle might really go against how you're trying to control it. So I don't know. I'm nervous about it.
Mhm.
So yeah, along with that, as somebody who has shelled out hundreds of dollars to get all the buttons and the keyboards and the HOTAS, which is a hands-on throttle and stick. That's your flight controls and everything that you see a lot of people with really advanced setups using. I think there definitely is a market for something like this, where it's all simulated in the cockpit. But what it really comes down to is exactly what Jay was saying, which is how accurate is the tracking? Is it going to lose tracking in the middle of a dogfight? Because if that happens, it completely takes you out of the experience.
Right.
It's like your controller being unplugged by your big brother right in the middle of right when you're about to kick him. So
It sounds like there's some trauma there for that. Do you need to talk about anything on your gaming history?
that's that. That's for another podcast.
Yes.